welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wellness.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the halftime show of the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, and now FM 98.1. Two ways to hear the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. For 7 years now, we've now recorded all these great interviews with some of the best professionals and leaders of our community. For 7 years now, you can find it at donandgino.com. Click on the YouTube channel. That's right. We have over 2,000 videos now with some of these great interviews, and today is no different. We just had a great segment with Gigi Brunstrup expressing how Skyline Home Loans, with the help of Gigi Brunstrup with Angel Oak Mortgage Solutions, is helping a lot of you that couldn't get into homes, possibly get into homes now if you basically are self-employed or had a life event such as foreclosure or bankruptcy. We're finding ways to get you in a home. So now we brought in one of our favorite guests on a regular basis. It gives us the time, thank goodness, Mr. Bob Kellar, multi-time mayor, multi-time councilman.
I haven't figured out what I'm going to do when I grow up, that's all.
Yeah, you do. You're just doing it all.
Just a lot of badges. Just a lot of badges to wear.
Yeah, but I'm not copping out to anything bad.
Pun intended?
Pun intended.
Yeah. It's interesting too, because as also a real estate leader in our community, the show that we just did.
I don't know about a leader, but
Keller Davis, really. You have 3 offices, and you've been involved in that since how long? It's been a while now.
2000.
2000, okay.
Yeah. So you've seen the ups and downs of this market, and what we were just talking about on the show a little bit earlier is that some reasonable lending has entered the marketplace again. You can call it subprime if you want to. But it's still validating income, but more on a bank statement program. So some people's taxes just aren't done in the way, as our CEO likes to say, guidelines were written by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac for people in the 50s. And people don't live that way anymore. I can't tell you how many differently formed families we deal with anymore. And he says guidelines were written for Ozzie and Harriet. And that's just not the way it is anymore. And so
Bob, you have to deal with that. You have a lot of luxury market up by you. Right? You're right there near Sand Canyon, and you have people that are making really good money, but they don't show it on their tax returns, and they're a little frustrated not being able to go buy a $1.5 million ranch home up there with their horses because they don't show the income, and now we're finding ways to help them in.
Well, good. Listen, I will tell you that you've given me a segue to open up and tell you we just listed one at 4.999.
Wow. There you go.
You guys know him, Eddie Murray's home. Around 13,000 square feet on 8 acres, and I know we've got a lot of listeners that are anxious to see that house and write an offer.
Is he heading out of our town?
I think Eddie will always have some presence here. I know he's also got some interest in the Las Vegas area, and what a great guy. I've gotten to know him over the years.
I see him all the time. I love when I see him pop into Salt Creek or wherever. He's there quite often. I'm like, oh, cool. And he's just a real guy.
He totally.
Yeah, you never know. He's a longtime Dodger, alumni, and where else? He was
first-time Hall of Famer in 2003. And I got to tell you, it really is. You got to stop and think about this. To my knowledge, I don't think it's changed. There's only 3 baseball players that have ever had over 3,000 hits and 500 home runs, and he is the only one that ever did it as a switch hitter.
And he's also he has another switch hitting record as well. I can't remember what it was, but it's like 20 from each side or something like that. He's another great one. Just one of those things that'll probably never be beaten, or if it does, it'll be another 10, 15 years.
That was not very common. Not when you can do it from both sides of the plate.
Yep. Yeah, I can't figure out from the one side. I call it the right side, but all right. So this is going to be tough to even fit it in this segment. We'll start launching because this was a huge week. I mean, it's now Saturday, and Tuesday alone. I don't know if you caught up from sleep from that yet, but you had the council meeting that lasted literally till all hours of the morning on a huge topic for this community. I can't believe that you had over 130 speakers that lasted well into the morning hours.
Well into the morning. I left City Hall that morning at 1:30. And I will tell you, on Wednesday I think I was dragging a little bit. But to have that many speakers, that set a record. That has never occurred in the history of Santa Clarita. and the council chamber was completely packed. There was standing room literally shoulder to shoulder throughout the whole room.
So tell us a little bit about, what were people so darn passionate about? Why did everybody come out to this city council meeting?
And Gino, that's an excellent question, and I will tell you, because what would bring out that numbers of people? And the truth of the matter is, it was SB54. It's not really to be confused with the sanctuary cities or state as we've been declared. It's a little different aspect, but nevertheless, I think from the mindset of our citizens, it's all part and parcel of what is going on in the state of California. And subsequently, when this matter was agendized, the word got rapidly out there in the community. And obviously, literally, I can't tell you how many people were there. I would say somewhere around 300 to 350, perhaps even 400 people. There were that many people.
So give us a synopsis of SB54. I know everybody's looking it up on Wikipedia right now, but give us a quick synopsis of it.
It actually came into law, became effective on January 1 of this year, and it basically, Senate Bill 54, and it was brought forward by Senator De Leon, and obviously passed, but it called for law enforcement throughout the state of California to not cooperate in any shape, way, or form with the release of illegals having been convicted of various crimes. And if you really get into this and start peeling, if you will, the layers of the onion back, you find that there has been such change in the laws in the state of California in recent years having to do heretofore felony, felony, felony. Oh no, now it's no longer a felony, it's a misdemeanor. Oh, really? Okay. And by the way, keep in mind, when you go to court today, a criminal I'm talking about, well, plea bargaining it happens. Okay?
Sure.
So you get arrested for a felony, but you plead out to a misdemeanor. Oh, well, it's just a misdemeanor now, so this person's not a bad person. So now we're going to cut their sentence way down. And by the way, you can't tell the federal government, law enforcement, ICE, that this person is being released. It's against the law for law enforcement in the state of California to do that. And you wonder why our crime rates are going up, burglaries are going up, and a whole litany of things. And people made that so clear on Tuesday night that they'd had enough of this. And as I later had an opportunity to speak, I said, you know what's interesting about this, folks? I said, I listened to everybody. And by the way, I'm going to approximate it was 10 to 1. There were 10 people there. For every one that supported SB 54, there were 10 that said wrong. And but the thing that I found very interesting, so many of those people, you could tell they had had it, and they, as much
That's why
as
they were
said
there,
it,
right?
They were passionate, and they wanted to get this off their chest. Enough of this insanity here in the state of California.
And so, what control do we have of it? I mean, what were we discussing? What can we do?
Well, from a
do we have city control?
Well, I'll tell you what we can do, and that's about all we can do. I think I'm going to give you a little bit of a winded answer, but there's a reason for it. We are a general law city. We're not a charter city. Where you're a charter city, quite often, and most often, you will have your own police department. Okay?
All right.
And there's other factors that come into the equation by being a charter city as opposed to a general law. We are a contract city. We have no legal ability to dictate the activities of the LA County sheriffs that we contract with. They are governed by the sheriff, who's an elected representative, and who answers and coordinates the activities of the LA County sheriffs with the Board of Supervisors. All right? So with that in mind, nothing's going to change as far as our law enforcement configuration exists. But I'll tell you what it does do. It lets at least one city in Los Angeles County, and by the way, we are the first to have done this in LA County, to go on record as saying to the state of California and to the governor and to the attorney general and the entire electorate there in Sacramento that we do not condone this behavior. We are in opposition of it, and our citizens made that so absolutely clear on Tuesday night. So other than that, I will tell you, not a whole lot is going to come of it other than being able to say wrong. The decision that was brought forward, and if I may be so bold as to share with you that I brought it forward at the Tuesday night meeting. Well, actually, it was a Wednesday morning.
Right, Wednesday morning by that time.
But and that is that we join what is called an amicus brief, which puts us in support of the federal lawsuit, which has been brought forward in March by the federal government against the state of California for SB54.
Wow. So we stand
We're
with the
making a
feds.
statement.
It's a statement.
Right.
Okay? But along with that, there is a resolution that was approved and included in that motion. And that resolution, with a cover letter, will be going to the governor. It will be going to our state attorney general and every elected official in Sacramento, along with our California representatives in Washington. And that resolution with the cover letter will articulate our disdain for what is going on in this state, and certainly reflecting the overwhelming majority of the thoughts of the citizens of the Santa Clarita. And I want to make a comment. It's not just city; it's the Santa Clarita Valley, without question.
Without a doubt. Without a wow, great information. That is mind-boggling, and it's an important step with our community, without a doubt, here in Santa Clarita. And we thank you for sharing that. We have to go to break here, but I do want to dive back a little bit more into this, because this is huge. I mean,
it is.
This is probably one of the biggest meetings you probably had, one of the longest term, over something that dramatically affects our security and our costs here in California and, of course, here in Santa Clarita. When we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show with Bob Kellar and Gino Franti, this is good stuff. You want to finish, hear us for the final segment, because this is moving event here in Santa Clarita when we come back.